fans, to our round number 2 of this best of 3 series between Luccini, Land Center, and Sad Voids. I'm your host, Chicago Ted, coming to you with all the action live from, well, my dorm room as we see these guys take on for the grand prize of the Sudamerican Master 2. This is the lower bracket, so if they lose, or if Sad Voids lose this game, they are out. But if they win, we're going to a Game 3, and Luccini are then on the rocks in the same fashion. So, both teams are looking to not lose this game, and, well, we'll hope that this is just a good game nonetheless. Of course, game number 1 going the way of Luccini. The dark horses, for the most part of this tournament, coming in from the open qualifiers. Sad Voids, though, no one to be messed with, as they are an equally very, very good team, and they won't go down so easily. So we're looking for them to bring their best, bring their A game, but Luccini does have the 1 game advantage, as mentioned, and it's going to be a fight to the finish for them. So
10 seconds to go.
Well, as it stands right now, we're going to have the Undying and the Queen of Pain going for Luccini as the ban. Gyrocopter will be first picked up. Lishrak and Earthshaker picked up first for the Sad Voids, and they will get rid of a bit of a respect ban here, but they get rid of the Shadow Fiend and the IO. So, with Lishrak, Earthshaker definitely is a very potent combo for them to have. Of course, Lishrak making it through the first ban phase because of the fact that the Shadow Fiend and IO got taken away so ruthlessly. So with Gyrocopter and Lion, that's a very decent combo to have. They've got a lot of damage, but Gyrocopter worries me because for the most part, unless you give him a huge amount of protection in the lane, he doesn't exactly thrive. I mean, he can get bullied very hard out of his lane, and just a couple of rotations can render him near useless. If you slow down his farm a little bit, it's kind of like an anti-mage, except to a much greater extent. It just exponentially slows down his farm as time goes on. So, he's got to be very, very safe. And with the Earthshaker and Lishrak, I almost imagine that they're going to be rotating out a lot and putting as much pressure on this Gyrocopter as humanly possible. And that's going to be a huge problem for Luccini as they go through this game. Now, of course, that is discounting the fact that Luccini, with their next couple of picks, they could run him in a very, very safe lane and try to give him as much space as possible to farm up. And if they do that, then the Gyrocopter can carry very efficiently. But if they don't, and Gyrocopter gets behind, as mentioned, then he is going to be essentially a null factor until he can pick up something like a Divine Rapier and hopefully try to turn the game. But Phoenix, Viper, and Anti-Mage will all be taken out in that order. And, well, I mean, nothing too special coming out from these bans just yet. Luccini, they're trying to get rid of some carry options for Sad Voids that they run pretty well, but also that fit very well with their lineup. And although this could just be a carry Lishrak, he more often gets run in the mid lane, which by and large is the more popular place for him, but also one of the better places for him, as you get the solo experience, you have plenty of solo kill potential, and just in general, he's a very dominant mid laner. He's kind of like Alina in that he's just able, once he hits a certain point, either 2 points in each of his skills, that is the Split Earth and Lightning Strike. But if he gets a couple points in those, then he just becomes way too much to deal with. And 3 points, even harder. 4 points, well, damn. If he hits you with it, you're dead. Get a couple points in Pulse Nova, and I mean, you don't kill him in a fight, he's gone. So maybe they go for something like a Dazzle here, or probably to pick up Mana Boots as well, and just sit by Lishrak, put the Shallow Grave on him while he pulses, and yeah. You don't kill him, he kills all of your team. If he has a Bloodstone, 5 easy Bloodstone charges, makes him even harder to bring down, and, well, I mean, your fate is sealed at that point. So they've got to be very wary of how this Lishrak gets off in this game. Rubik will be picked up by Sad Voids,
Dyer's
allowing
pick.
them a lot of just potential to lock down and just be a nuisance throughout the fight. Plenty of ways to slow down this gyrocopter, plenty of ways to control this gyrocopter, and, well, plenty of ways to dominate this game. Luccini, though, with this next pickup, they could go ahead and grab their second support along the lines of what Sad Voids have done.
10 seconds to go.
But they also could go and pick up their next core, and they're going to do that. They're going to grab the puck.
Radiant's pick.
I'd be hard-pressed. Maybe this is going to be the mid-puck that potentially can deal well versus Leshrac. I mean, he can go ahead and he can phase shift away from the split earth. He can also phase shift if he knows that the lightning storm is hitting on his friendly creeps. He can phase out of that. If it hits on him first, well, you're shit out of luck. But aside from that, I mean, he's just a pretty good hero versus what Leshrac has to offer. The only issue is that once it gets to a certain point in the game, he starts to become less and less viable versus the puck.
Reserve time.
Or, I mean, puck becomes less viable versus him. So they've got to be very careful of how this puck lanes. Of course, it could be that off-lane puck, which I guess would be maybe useful here, but
Dyer's pick.
I don't know. I think mid, going up against Leshrac, do all he can to shut down this Leshrac and slow him down, and then they'll be good. Sad Voids are going to grab themselves a Bristleback, though, which a very tanky hero, a hero that can sit and take a huge amount of punishment. And, I mean, the big thing here that we have to take a look at is the fact that Gyrocopter is going to have so much trouble bringing any of these guys down.
Radiant's ban.
I mean, Leshrac, okay, he's very squishy until he gets that Bloodstone. Even after he gets the Bloodstone, is pretty tough to bring down. But Earthshaker, one of the tankier supports. Rubik, he's got the no field, ends up being one of the tankier supports as well. And Bristleback, well, we don't even need to talk about Bristleback. Killing him is near impossible. But they've got the Nyx, they've got the Lion. If they're both in the lane, then Bristleback could end up having a very hard time. But it all comes down to how they execute these lanes. And pound for pound, a farm Gyrocopter versus a farm Leshrac, Gyrocopter will win.
Dyer's ban.
As the game progresses, but it will be difficult. Just based on how this lineup is going. So we're going to have to see, again, how they come down to an execution, on an executional standpoint.
Pick.
But right now, if the lanes go well for Luccini, I can see them just running away from this game. Sad Voids, they're a bit one-dimensional in that they're drafted to win their lanes and carry on and do a huge amount in the mid-game. But once we hit the late game, it becomes substantially harder for them. So we'll have to take a look at how these next couple of picks go as the Bloodseeker and the Beastmaster get taken out.
Reserve time.
Apologies for the bit of a pause there. Can't stop messages coming in and out. I'm very active with corresponding with those that want to talk to me, especially during the draft. I will ignore that now as we are getting close to playing in-game time.
5 seconds.
And I'd rather keep you guys up to date on the action. So Templar Assassin gets picked up by the Sad Voids. And, well, that gives them a little bit more for the late game. Still doesn't win them the late game, but they've got plenty of gap closers, plenty of ways to get up and close and personal with the Gyrocopter and just slow him down as much as possible. With the Omni Knight pick, well, you've got all sorts of physical damage coming out. Now it becomes a little bit harder for the Sad Voids to do what they wanted to do, but it's still Omni Knight, not that fast. Lion, not that mobile either. They can easily become food for this Bristleback and Templar Assassin if they're not careful. Omni Knight especially. So they've got to be really careful about their positioning. But if it's anything like the last game, I definitely have faith that they'll be able to pull this draft off with style and with gusto. But the Sad Voids' draft is pretty good as well, and we'll have to see. Again, it comes down to execution in the lane. But the ones that win the lane could very well be the ones that win the game with these sort of drafts. So, as it stands right now, we're already into the game. The customary pause immediately after we go in. So we'll use this time to go ahead and introduce our teams. You know them, you love them from last game. But just again, we've got Kamuzi, this time playing the Omni Knight with Atsushi on the Lion. Eliadel playing the old senile gyrocopter. We've got the sword on the sneaky Nyx assassin. And Cristiano, their mid, will be on the puck. So this is definitely going to be a puck mid. Meanwhile, Ake on the Rubik with Karuba on the bristleback. Scully will be playing the Templar assassin. And on the Leshrac. And by Sadro, again, on the Earthshaker. This time for the Radiant. So, with a 5-man rotation from the Sad Voids, going up towards the north. Looks like they want to have a little bit of a bungle in the jungle here. But Ake leading the charge. This could be trouble for them as they've, I think Sad Voids have a lot more, at least early game damage going their way. So if this ends up being a 5-on-5 engagement, I gotta favor the Sad Voids just a little bit. But we'll have to see exactly how this goes down here as both teams are positioning themselves up towards the top rune. It's going to be Karuba, the first to reveal. Not really much vision to spot him out. They don't have any idea they're there. Bysadro hanging behind the trees, his own team pinging him. The sword's going to have an easy time getting this rune down bottom, too. And now, it looks like all of Luccini reveal. It's only a 4v5. Kamuzi getting blocked off by the Fisher. It's going to be an Earth Spike going through. Kamuzi, though, taking way too much damage. He's going to give up first blood, and the Fisher block keeps him all on the side of the rune. So first blood and rune going the way of Scully on the Templar Assassin. That is not something you want to be doing. 200 gold on top of a bottle for him. What a huge amount he just got out of that. And that's Cristiano going up against Scully here. So it's not Puck versus Leshrac. Instead, it's Puck versus TA. I still favor Puck just a little bit, at least for the early game. But TA ends up beating a Puck out as the game progresses. So they've got to be very careful about how this one works out.
Denied.
Meanwhile, it's a tri-lane versus tri-lane here. It's going to be N going aggressive against this gyrocopter. And this is what we talked about. Gyrocopter cannot deal with this type of pressure. And it's a 1v1 between the Sword and Karuba. And, you know, I kind of got to say that this is actually a pretty decent lane for Nyx Assassin. Being able to passively regen very quickly. Meanwhile, Karuba can't exactly spam what he's got because of the high mana cost and just the sheer fact that his mana pool is so low in the early portions of the game. So Nyx going to have a decent time in the for the next couple of minutes. May even put too much harassment on Karuba and get the early kill, but he's still got to be careful. He's not invincible even though he's got that regen. So playing with the utmost care, making sure not to give a kill. So far, things not looking that great for Luccini, but not an early lead that they cannot overcome, especially if they can manage to win this top lane, which with Omni Knight and Lion is very possible. They've got to play it absolutely perfectly. So we'll see how this one comes to pass as time goes on. But at the moment, it looks like Eliadel is doing a very good job at keeping his CS high. Meanwhile, and not really being able to boast the same. He's being near doubled up by Eliadel's CS, and that might not be a trend that we see stopping anytime soon. So in the mid lane, this is surprising. Cristiano doing a little bit better on the CS, despite Scully having that refraction shield, but he's taking a bit from the side blades. He's got to be very careful, not letting that damage stack up too much. You can already see hitting him for a pretty sizable margin right now. We'll have to keep an eye both on the mid lane and the top lane. Both are looking pretty volatile. I could see a kill erupting in either one of these. And in fact, it looks like Cristiano might be in a lot of trouble here. He's already down to very, very low. And he doesn't even have his bottle out yet. He might just have to spend his illusory orb, just to get that last CS he needs to get his bottle out. Meanwhile, Eliadel, with that pull, is able to just burn down all the creeps and continuing to farm incredibly well, still near doubling up N. and having, in general, a really good time. Speaking of having a good time, the sword in the bottom lane is doing very well. Even though his CS is slightly behind that of the Bristleback, he's still just doing an incredible job at putting out a lot of harass on him. And it looks like Karuba opting for the bottle to try to keep himself alive through that said harass. So back and forth. Scully now looks like he's on the back foot here in the mid lane. Illusory comes through but doesn't connect, and now, oh no, Cristiano in a lot of trouble. He's not moving fast enough. One last auto attack to come through, but it is not going to be enough. And Cristiano gets himself away. Meanwhile, on the top lane, what's N doing? He is way behind enemy lines. There isn't any way to stop him, but they do have the Rocket Barrage, and he ends up going down here. No, one less auto attack is all he needs, but he's got the salve, and now Eliadel might be going in a bit too far. They've got the telekinesis, brings Atsushi back down to earth, and they'll bring him down. And gets so damn low there, but stays alive. Meanwhile, by the Roche Pit, it's going to be the sword grabbing Karuba. So putting themselves on the board is Luccini, and with the Bristleback no less. But in the top lane, a bit of a disaster. And mid, even though the CS is fairly close, in fact, actually, it's going to be Scully pulling way out far ahead. Illusory Rub comes through. Scully, is he going to jump to the orb? He is not going to. Opting not to go for it. Now he actually be in a little bit of trouble. This is a double damage rune. One last auto attack is all he needed.
Clearly not.
But he isn't going to get it. Not going to go any further for that kill. A huge amount of restraint, but also maybe potentially giving up a missed opportunity there. Here's a potential gank, though. Atsushi with a smoke. They're looking for the timing. It's not right, though. Maybe it is. He gets the Hex, but what more can he do off of this one? I think he can go for the stun here. Maybe they get the kill, but they... nope, the teleportation, rotation coming in from Ake. The Rubik ready to do it. And that'll be it. No further aggression here in the mid lane. Eliadel being pressured on the top, and it's actually N coming back from a pretty sizable deficit now, is almost on par with Eliadel, and not really looking to slow down anytime soon. In fact, he could actually grab a kill here. They're going to have the Lightning Storm. There is the Purify, but that's about it. Now with the Repel, Eliadel actually one last auto attack is all he needs. No, he's got the Magic Wand, or Magic Stick rather. And he survives, but that forces him back to base. And that forces a lot of time that's going to be wasted just by going back and getting that. Oh, wait, no, never mind. He's got a bottle. Okay. A lot of bottles here. And I guess a lot of bottle crowing that's going to be happening. So it looks like the sword. He's looking for something. We'll pop out the Vendetta. Just a little bit of damage, give him a hug, and that's about it. That's all she wrote. The bottom lane, it's going to be Atsushi looking for Karuba. They've got the Earth Spike, or the Impale, now the Earth Spike. Lots of damage, but the Quill Spray is hitting for a pretty sizable amount. You can already see stacking up to 100 damage on both of them. They've got to be very careful about that. If they continue going for that kill, well, they most certainly would be dead. A rotation coming in for Cristiano. He balls and jaunts himself away, and that's Ake. Not having a telekinesis for that fight. And they give up a kill on the puck. But Scully is not going to let this one go too easy. He looks like he's got the phase boots ready to go, so he can continue chasing whenever he wants. And Puck, he's got the orb, so he's not in any real danger unless they've got some way to silence or stun him to keep him from jaunting away. So far as it stands, though, 3 kills on the board, 7 minutes. And though has almost surpassed the Gyrocopter, but Eliadel is hanging in there, continuing to get some valuable farm, and maybe they look for something here. The sword will find the Vendetta strike onto Bisadro. They give the kill to Eliadel, and even though that's all she wrote, that's still a very nice kill going their way, meaning, what the hell just happened to mid lane? Rubik goes down here, and that's courtesy of Atsushi. So kills happening all over, and now Scully might be in a little bit of trouble. No, it's Cristiano, who's got to be very careful. Needs to orb and jaunt or do something. He's very low. He wants the Side Blade, but he's not going to get it. Now Cristiano, he's getting very aggressive here. Bisadro looking for the Fisher, not going to connect. What's Cristiano doing? You can't do this, bro. He cancels the clarity, but that's about it. 7 seconds, 6 before there's another Fisher. Oh no, Cristiano could give away a very valuable kill here, but he's got to be careful. No, he gets out the waning rift, and that's about it. Cristiano gets himself away now. Okay, to the neutral creep. All right. The sword's in a lot of trouble, though. He's got to get himself away with a vendetta. They slow him up. They don't have any idea where he is, though, and he'll get himself out of there. Meanwhile, Camusi finding a kill in the top lane, and just like that, 3-5. Luccini running circles around Sad Voids now in these lanes, finding kill after kill. Maybe they find more. Ake might be in some trouble, but it looks like the sword will not opt to go for it.
Dire's mid tower could use a little help.
Lyodel content to just farm up here in the top lane. The pings come out. They know where the sword is. But he'll Earth Spike out. Won't connect on the Ake, who's only level 4. Cannot steal it. And what's that? The stun going out. Absolutely no one. Or at least I think that was by Sadro. Maybe they look to get aggressive here, but this Observer Ward is spotting out both of them, keeping them from getting too aggressive here. Yeah, they've got full vision. Okay, they've got vision of one of them. Now both. The Fisher comes out, but is on the wrong side. That's about it. No more on the top lane here. Looking back towards the mid. Ake's hanging in close to the tower. What's this? 4 rotating up towards the top lane. Maybe they surround by Sadro here. This could be a huge amount of trouble here. No, it actually might be Atsushi who's in trouble. The Fisher comes out, rides along the cliff, but it's going to be the Sword who looks to start this fight. Now he finds Sadro with the Impale, grabs him, locks him, brings him down. The Earth Spike's there. Scully now looking for some vengeance. Camusi's in close. What can they do to this Templar Assassin? They're both pretty low. And comes the Sword with the repel, but it actually looks like both of them might be in a little bit of trouble. The Sword turns around and goes for that Impale. Now it gets himself away, but with the Psionic Trap, will not be so lucky. Atsushi continuing to fight into this one, but he's behind Scully. Could be in a huge amount of trouble down. He'll go down to the Lightning Storm, but Scully's now in a lot of trouble. If he goes down, this is huge for Lyodel, and the tower hit. He'll get killed. The AoE gold split between the Sword and Lyodel, but still a huge kill, a good amount of experience going the way of Luccini, but it's really the Sad Voids that come out on top, making it a 3-4-1 overall. And Gruba, with that regen rune in the bottom lane, I mean, doesn't really give him too much. He'll just be able to spam a couple of quill sprays whenever he wants. And goes the Sword, though. And they look for more. Greedy plays. Maybe they find Ake. He can definitely burst down Ake.
You know the drill.
But he will not do so. Gets too close to the tower. Backs himself away. Vendetta will wear thin. And they won't get a kill off of this one. Very back and forth a game again in this early game. This time no clear winner. And that's in quotes for the late game. Cristiano's got to be careful, though. Sadro was looking for the Fisher.